All right, guys, I'm super excited to talk to you about how to turn your web design skills into income. Now, a few years ago, in fact, 2004 to be more precise, I was working in the factory. This was just after school, and the work was very, very difficult. It was very, very hard. And soon after that, in 2005, when my dad passed away, it was a really tough time for me being the eldest. I had to make sure that I also support my younger siblings, because I was the eldest in the family. So it really put a lot of pressure on me to try and earn an income. As someone who's very shy and an introvert, I found it very hard to go out there and present myself. So the opportunity came up for me to start designing websites. At first, I lacked a lot of confidence because I wasn't sure if my work was good enough. So I just designed, but I was super stressed because I wasn't sure if this was good enough and if people would approve it. Because, if you create something nice, you want people to give you feedback. But I wasn't ready to go out there and show people my work because I wasn't sure. So what I decided to do was to design these websites behind the scenes. But as I was designing, I was also looking at some inspiration to see if some of these websites that were out there were good and what made them really good. And throughout some time, I realized that, it was a few formulas that really made all these websites work. And that is what I'm going to talk to you about today, and see how you can also turn your web design skills into income. So as a kid, I always had dreams to have kind of like a farm or somewhere where I can grow organic food. This is something I had in the back of my mind a long time ago. I managed to achieve this not so long ago as a result of my skills in web design. And this is what I want to talk to you about today, just in case you want to do the same. All right, so as I mentioned, I was able to, reach my dreams through just the art of web design. So I've got a 5 hectares, which is about 50,000 square meters of land where I can pretty much grow organic food. I can have, some animals there, fresh eggs, and so on. So this is super exciting for me, and this is where I'm at so far. When it comes to web design, it doesn't really take a lot. You only need to master 3 steps. You need to master your design skills, your business tools, and how to get customers. Now, once you master those 3, pretty much you're good to go. But it's not easy because you need to know what you need to have in these 3 stages in order for you to become successful. Okay, so moving on. Now, if you stay with me until the end of this webinar, I am going to give you something special. So you need to make sure that you stay with me till the end. All right, so what really made me go into web design was the fact that there was pretty much 40% of small businesses that didn't have websites. Now, this stat really, really shocked me because I wasn't aware that there were so many companies that did not have a website. So this still applies today, and this could be an opportunity for you to tap into this. Because when you design websites, you want to make sure you're designing websites to people that have the money. And in most cases, it's small businesses because they don't have the technical know-how to design these websites, and they also have the funds to pay you. So if you target people that don't have money, of course, you're going to struggle with making money. Now, let me just give you a few figures here that I was working with, which enabled me to live my dream today. I'm not saying you're going to make $1 million, unlike other webinars or other promises that you get from people. But all I'm saying is you will be able to earn some decent income that could supplement what you're already doing. Now, when I was working in the factory in the UK, it was quite difficult, like I mentioned, but I had to create this little side business that allowed me to then, support my family, allowed me to save for so many years until this where I am today. So it's very, very important that you treat this as a side business until you're strong enough or in a state where you can actually make it a full-time business. All right, so here we are. So I was charging $800 per website. So my target in a month was to design 3 websites, which is about $2,400 per month. Now, in total, I made over 150 websites. Now, I was averaging at 1,200 to be honest, because sometimes I will design more advanced websites and I would charge way more than just your 800. But nowadays you can charge even more because you can specifically design websites that have even more functions, like websites that sell products, websites that generate leads and so on, which we'll talk about in a moment. Okay, so what these questions, these small businesses, they have specific questions they ask themselves. And the questions are, what should the contents be? What should the headlines say? What layout and design should be used? What are the calls to action? How can it be made mobile friendly? Now, all these things we can answer because I've done a lot of tutorials about this, and I'm also going to show you how you can pretty much answer these questions. And I'm confident that even you can answer these questions in providing the websites. All right, so we're now talking about freelance designing. So as we take a look at freelance designing, as I mentioned, we need 3 pillars. Now, these 3 pillars are mastering your design skills, your design toolbox, and your promo machine. You need to be able to promote your business in order for you to make money. So this is very, very important. Now, without one of these stages, you'll find that it's super difficult for this system to work. So you may have design skills, but if you don't have the tools, pretty much you're going to struggle. And now you may have the tools, but if you can't promote your business, again, it's going to be difficult for you to make this work. And if you have your tools and you're able to promote, but you don't have the design skills, again, this is going to be quite difficult because people will see that these websites are not professional and they will not go for your services. All right, so now let's take a look at the secrets that we're going to be going through. So number 1, we are going to, I'm going to show you how to go through 4 design fundamentals in order for you to design any type of website professionally. Now, these are the things that I was mentioning earlier on when I was lacking my confidence. But once you master these 4 things, you'll be able to design any website and make it look really professional. Secondly, how to use proven industry tools and software that agencies use to run their business. Again, this can be very, very challenging if you don't know what people are using out there in order for them to run their business. So I'm also going to go through this in this workshop. And I'm also going to talk about how to market your business without spending hundreds of dollars, because the marketing part can be very, very pricey. Okay, so moving on, we mentioned that our main target here needs to be small businesses. Yes, small businesses, because they have the money for, or they have the budget for us to then target them with our services. Okay, so moving on. Now, there are 3 types of websites that we need to design when we going out there as freelance designers. So the first type of website is just a website that just gives people an awareness. So some companies may prefer just to have a website where when people go to it, they know, okay, company A exists, they do this product, they do this service, whatever it is, and pretty much that's what customers ask for. Now, this is the easiest website to design, and once you design it and it looks professional, pretty much you've finished, what you need to do. The second type of website is a website that generates leads. Now, this is a bit more difficult, but it can be achieved using the tools that I mentioned earlier on. Thirdly, it's a website that generates sales. So we're talking about e-commerce websites here, or websites that sell a single product. But basically, the end goal is for us to have a website that sells a product. So let's start off on our triangle here by talking about the design skills. So what do we need to know in design in order for us to make our websites look awesome? All right, so choosing your perfect colors. So color is super, super important. I mean, if you take a look at interior design, you take a look at people that design, websites, people that paint, all that requires color, and the colors need to work well together. So there's a few resources that I use. I use coolers.co and a new website called brandmark.io/colorwheel/app. Now, this tool here, the second one, is super important because it makes just the process of choosing your colors very easy because they use AI. All right. So what's the anatomy of a very good color palette which represents a company? So first of all, we're going to need a main color. That's your main branding color. So that's the color that people will know you by. For example, if we say Barclays, we know it's blue. If we say for example, DHL or UPS, is that distinct brown. So that's the main color. So once we have these colors, you also want to have maybe a shade that goes along with the main color. All right. Now, as we're talking about web design, you're also going to need a color for the fonts. So generally speaking, you want to use a font which is a dark gray. Dark gray is very easy to read on a light background, or in most cases a white background, but if you choose gray as your font, you will not go wrong. Now, you also need a color that works with your call to actions, and this normally could be a complementary color. So that's just a color that stands out. You can use this for your buttons, you can use this for your links, and so on. You also need a very light color, as I mentioned here. Now, white works really well throughout your design, and in most cases, you may need black as well. So these are the colors that really make a color palette and make it easier for you to design your website. So this could be any color. You could start off this with a dark blue, it could be a yellow, it could be an orange, but you just need to know that you need to have it in such a way that it's easier for your sites to work. Okay, so moving on. In fact, you know what, guys? If you do have any questions throughout this, please throw them in the comments box, and I'll keep a glance as I'm going through this presentation and respond to them. Okay, so once you have your color sorted and you have your color palette, the next part now is your fonts. Now, fonts can be very overwhelming because there's hundreds and hundreds of them. And for the web, Google Fonts, they have hundreds, if not thousands, right? So the question is, how do we choose these fonts? Well, I have made it very easy for you. When it comes to fonts, you just need to stick with very few fonts on your web designs. And these are fonts which are very, very easy to read. So you can use Open Sans, Merriweather, you can use Pop-ins, you can use Garamond, Lato, Playfair Display. Now, if you're a bit more confident, you can play around with other colors other fonts that you may feel like, you know what, maybe these fonts will work. But if you stick to these, you will not go wrong. Next, let's talk about images. So we've spoken about color, we've spoken about font. Now let's take a look at images, because images are super, super, super important. Okay, so when it comes to images, this is what really shows your product or your service in a good light. So you want to make sure that when you take your images or your pictures, you're using good lighting. You want to make sure that it's well cropped. And once you add them onto your website, you'll see amazing results. All right, so let's take a look at some examples here. So when we took, I've just taken some screenshots of some of the websites that I use. I use some of these products. So the first one here is Rode. Now look at that mixer, how it really stands out. Of course, they've put it in an angle, but we can see clearly here that the hero of this page is the actual product, and the photography here is amazing. Just by looking at this, I can see that the light is coming there from the top where the road sign is, and that's the angle of the light, and it looks really, really nice. Moving on, we also have an image here. Again, this is an image which was taken around sunset. Beautiful, beautiful image, and it represents the brand really well. Now, moving on, I know this is cliche to use Apple, but again, the product here is the watch itself, and the way they've taken the product here is beautiful, and it really makes everything stand out. So as you can see, images are very, very good. Nowadays, we have mobile phones that can take really nice images, so I highly recommend that you use your images, and this is what's going to make your design very, very good. Okay, so moving on. The last part here in design is the actual contrast. Now, contrast is super, super important. Now, this is where a lot of people get it wrong. Now, if you take a look here at the first thing here, it says not easy to read. Now, I've made this intentionally. Now, the reason why this is not easy to read is because these colors are very close together. You can see the black here and the blue. It's not very easy to read, but the moment we change the color here to add a bit more contrast, you can see now it is much, much easier to read. Now, the same thing applies here with images. When I take a look at this image here, it may be very hard to add white to this, but if you add a background and a rectangle around it, it makes it much easier to read. Now over here, I've made the image lighter and then added my text, making it much easier to read. So as you can see, contrast is super important. And as we design our websites, it is very, very important that we nail the contrast. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is to show you how we can use these three elements that I've spoken about and see how we can use this in a real life situation when we design our websites. All right. So over here, I have a page which I've just opened up. In fact, you know what? Let me enable the visual builder here. For this, I'm using Divi, but you can use any page builder that you are familiar with or you are used to working with. All right, so what I'm going to do here is just to open a basic section and show you these three principles of how we can use contrast as we are designing with our page builder. All right, so I'm going to add a regular section here. And let's use 2 equal columns. All right, so with these 2 equal columns here, what I'm going to start off by doing is to show you how easy it is to use our font. So I'm going to click here on Add New Module, and I'm going to search for my text module. So this is just demonstrating that it is easy for us to go in and use our fonts. Okay, so let's say I want to set this to heading 1, like that. Now, if I come over here to design, go into text. So let's go to our heading text here. So if I click on this drop down, notice that we have all the color, all the fonts here. Super, super easy to find. So let's say we want to search for Playfair display. Let's see, where is it? Oh, there we go. You can select it here. And that is our font. I can adjust my size. And I can also add a background. I can add images onto this. So this is very, very simple to add our font and change our fonts as we're designing our website. Now, the other cool thing as well is we can go in here and choose our colors. So if you want to add your color, you can just come over here, change it to whatever color you want. Okay, super simple. Now, as we're talking about color here, let me show you the tool that I mentioned that makes it very, very easy for me to choose my colors, because colors are very, very important. So I will share this link. In fact, let me just throw this link in the video description here. So if you want to take a look at it, you can just go ahead and use it right away. Okay, so there we go. So that's the resource. So here, all you have to do is to upload an image. So I've already gone ahead and uploaded an image here. So these are all the color combinations. When you first look at this, it looks kind of weird, strange. But when you click, say, for example, on this, notice the colors that show up over here. Now, this is where the power of this tool comes. So you can now start choosing your colors. So let's say this is not the one that you want and you want something a bit different. You can just scroll through these and take a look at the color combination that shows up here on this app. So let's say you want to go with something like that. So these colors are a bit more earthy. So let's say you want to use these, you can just come over here, choose your color like that. Now, if you want to add it onto, say, your page builder, all you have to do is to click here, paste it, and now it has been updated. So that's how easy it is to choose your color palettes. Now, of course, you can't choose all of them. So this is where you use the technique that I mentioned, which is you choose your base color, and then you want to choose a complementary color or a color that works on the opposite with that, which is maybe perhaps this one here. And then you also want to have a light color so you can have contrast. So for example, if I have this color right here, I will have this here as my light color, which means if I use this on the dark background, it will read very well. If I use this on a light background, it will also read very well. And then what I also may want to do is just to have a few shades of this color, and pretty much my color palette is good to go. That's your colors. And we've talked about the colors, the fonts, the contrast. Very, very important when it comes to design. So that's the first pillar. Now, once you master this, pretty much your design is in place, because these principles I'm talking to you about are used pretty much in all industries. As long as you have your contrast and you've chosen your colors correctly, pretty much you are good to go. Now let's talk about the design toolbox. So these are the tools we need in order for us to really put our business together, our freelance business together. So what you need here are a few things. So we're going to need to have hosting. Hosting is very, very important. And we're also going to need a page builder. Now I've just given you a quick demo here of Divi, which is our page builder. You're also going to need cloud storage. Now, cloud storage is very important because you want to be able to design your websites pretty much everywhere, right? You can be anywhere in the world. You want to design your websites and access all your elements very, very easy, okay? You're also going to need child themes. Now, child themes are pretty much, for me, what can I call it? An amazing gift. Why? Because you can just load up a child theme on a brand new website, and within seconds, you can have a website up and running super fast. So if you create a few child themes, like let's say, for example, an e-commerce website, and every time you design an e-commerce website, you have a child theme that you load up and set up, and then all you need to do is to go in and add your colors, your fonts, and so on, and pretty much you are good to go. It saves you a lot of time, and this is what you need in your toolbox. All right, so moving on here, let's start talking about our hosting. So for our hosting here, I highly recommend SiteGround, because with the Grow Big plan, you can have unlimited websites. So if you're designing websites for your clients, you don't want to be limited to a set number of websites that you can create on that service. So with SiteGround here, you are able to have unlimited websites and also 20 gig of web space. Now that's a lot of space, right? You also have 100,000 monthly visits. Now in most cases, you may be thinking, well, that's not a lot, but if you take a look at small business websites, chances are they're not going to be getting a lot of traffic, right? So you're safe to start off here because they're pretty much getting up and running. But if they do start getting a lot of traffic, that is where you can just remove it from SiteGround and then add it on to a different service that has more resources. Yeah, it may be a bit more expensive, but of course, if they're getting a lot of customers, that means that they also can monetize that and can afford to go for the higher service. Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about the page builder itself. So as I mentioned, Divi here is more like Photoshop. It has everything that you need for you to design your websites. We're talking about animations, we're talking about colors, backgrounds. You can also do coding, by the way. If you're someone that really enjoys the HTML and CSS, you can also go in and do that. But as for me, I really like the fact that I can go in, I can animate things, I can add colors, I can add styles to my images. I've got a library of fonts. I can save a lot of things as I'm designing. So that's what makes Divi here very, very easy to use. And also it has cloud. So Divi Cloud is where you can save your layouts. So let's say you're designing your website and you feel like, you know what, this type of layout here, I use it pretty much all the time. So you can save it in your Divi Cloud. So every time you design your website, you log in, you can have access to all these layouts as you're designing your websites. It's super, super easy. In fact, I will do a demo and show you how Divi Cloud works. Now, as I mentioned here, after the Divi Cloud, you also have the ability to add child themes. Now, for some of you, you also have my site maker theme. You also have WooCrafter, which is a theme that can get you up and running super fast with WooCommerce websites. So all these are very, very easy to use as you are designing your websites. And I highly recommend that you start off your design process with child themes. That will make your design process very, very easy. Now, when I used to design websites back in the day, we did not have child themes. In fact, it was so difficult because every website had to be designed from scratch. But now with child themes, the process is super, super, super easy. Now let's talk about how to manage your business as you are running your freelance business. Now, You're going to need quite a few tools out there, and the tool that I highly recommend here, which is free by the way, is Asana. Asana is super powerful. It allows you to manage your projects by client, and it also makes it easier for you to basically know where things are in your design process. So I highly recommend that you use Asana for your project management for your freelance business. Right, so I mentioned that when we design our websites, there's 3 types of websites, and the websites that we create are the websites that provide awareness, leads, or sales. So these are the type of websites that we need to focus on and design. So awareness websites, these are brochure websites, which can also have a blog. Leads type websites are websites that have opt-in forms and funnels. And then our sales type websites are e-commerce websites, which can use WooCommerce. Now, notice that all these websites I'm talking about, I am referring to WordPress because WordPress is the best way that we can design all our websites. Now, let's talk about the third part of our triangle, which is the promo machine. How do we promote our services so that we can start making the money? Now, this is undoubtedly the most difficult part, because if you don't get this right, you're stuck with very good web design skills, but you cannot sell them, okay? So this is where the challenge is. But I'm going to discuss a few ways you can actually start promoting your business. Now, there's 2 ways you can promote this. There's offline and online. So the first one here is your offline. Let's talk about offline. So the first way you can promote your business is going to local events. So you can find local events, especially business ones. You go there, you can speak to a lot of people. And how I did it back in the day was I designed 5 websites for free, but I had to choose specific companies that I wanted to work with, because by putting them in my portfolio, it meant that it makes it easier for me to showcase my work. So you can start off by doing the same, design 5 websites of companies that you can pick. You can do this for free. I know this is a bit controversial because doing this for free, people will be like, no, you might as well get paid for it. But this is how I did it, and it worked really well. Because as you're designing as you're starting your business, you want to have a portfolio website which has a few websites that you've designed, so that people can see if you're really good at designing or not. So this is where your 5 websites come in. So once you've done that, you go to your local events and talk about your services, and you can find ways you can integrate with them. But I would highly recommend you go to business ones. So business meetings are also very, very good. In the UK, I went to the Chamber of Commerce and Institute of Directors. That was a very, very easy way to integrate and mingle with like-minded people and companies that have money. Okay, so Chamber of Commerce, I mentioned that. I also mentioned communities. It's very, very important that you do that. Now, let's talk about online. Online, you'll be very amazed to know that when you promote your business online, it is very, very easy to do it for local. So you want to do a bit of SEO on your website for local. Like, for example, let's say you are in the United Kingdom, in Birmingham, or wherever you are, you're in the United States, you are in New York. You want to make sure that you you do SEO on your website so you show up on local, okay? Because when people search for web design services in Birmingham, chances are you are likely to appear in the search, because when you do this on a global scale, it is very hard to get those search terms. James A says, if you're in Canada and looking for a good Canadian hosting company, CrocWeb has been my hosting provider for 10 years now. Wow, that's awesome. So again, you see, having that presence online is very, very good. I mean, as James here is saying, I'm sure he was able to find this company locally when it comes to the web hosting in this case. So some companies can have that reputation and use that on their website because they provide a good service. So this is what you also want to do. Make sure you have a service that lasts a very, very long time. This is how you get trust from people, and also testimonials. Okay, the next one here is Facebook. So Facebook groups are also super important, because this is where you can help people. So you don't want to go there and spam them and say, look, I know how to design websites and so on. No, take a look at small business type groups on Facebook and just offer some help. You know, if people are struggling with SEO or struggling with pretty much anything that is design related, you can go in there and give them some tips. Now, by giving them tips, you are positioning yourself as an expert, and this is super important. Okay. YouTube. Now, this is what has worked for me. Now, some of you, I know, you can be very uncomfortable with showing up on camera and so on. But YouTube is super powerful because YouTube is also a search engine. So if you were to create your videos and you make them local, targeting local keywords, this can work really, really, really well. So this is also a strategy that you could use in order for you to gain some customers online. But the fourth one here is blogging. Okay, you want to make sure you create articles about how small businesses can get exposure, how to help small businesses, or we can even talk about how you can design websites for small businesses in your blog and why it's important for them. So if you write articles and that's something you're good at, you want to write those articles and make sure you optimize them via SEO for your local area. Okay. So you may be thinking, well, Mac, all these things are super, super overwhelming. You know, how the hell am I going to master all these things that you're talking about? Well, I have a solution for you. And this is where I'm introducing a course called Freelance to Income. So Freelance to Income basically is turning your freelance business and make it produce money for you. So this is a course that I've put together, and I'm super passionate about it because this is a course that really changed my life. Freelance designing changed my life. In fact, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the art of web design. So what does Freelance to Income has, and how have I put this together in order for this to really help you out and also change your web design skills into income? So this is going to be a course which is going to be super interactive. I'm going to have a live Q&A per week, one live Q&A per week, so that I interact with you guys and go through all the processes, all the challenges that you're getting until you get to your destination. Okay. Now, once you've purchased this course, you're going to have unlimited access to the course. It's going to come with 3 child themes. Now, why have I added 3 child themes in here? Now, the reason being, designing websites from scratch is a thing of the past, because when you design these websites from the past over and over again, there was no way of having child themes where you can just load up a website super fast and then start customizing it. So this is what's going to make things very, very easy for you, because once we have these child themes, you can spin off any type of website you want in a matter of minutes. Okay, so this is why I've put these 3 child themes in there, and these will be part of the Freelance to Income course. I'm also going to add the DV Jumpstart course. Now, it costs $149, but when you take this Freelance to Income course, this is going to come with it. Now, the reason why I've added this as well is because you may be brand new to Divi, you don't know how it works. So this is just going to jumpstart your process of learning how to use Divi and make it very, very easy for you. Okay. Next, I also have the Web Design Masterclass. Now, this is a course that you can go through and see how the process of designing websites is. Again, this is going to be part of the Freelance to Income course. I'm also going to have a private Facebook group, and I also have a portfolio child theme. Now, the portfolio child theme is a child theme that you are going to load up on your website, and this is going to represent your business. Okay, so it's pre-designed for you. All you have to do is to go in and add all your information, your images, so you don't have to spend hours or days designing your website from scratch. This child theme will pretty much have everything that you need. So as you can see, this gives us a total value of $1,247, but I won't be charging you that because, come on, it's ridiculous. $1,247, no. So I've made this super simple for you to follow, because by the end of this course, you are going to be a great web designer, because I'm going to go now in depth and discuss all those topics about how to use color, how to choose color, how to do branding, and so on. I'm going to go into depth and teach you how to do that step by step. So I'm also going to show you how to use the Freelance Designer tools, how to market your business, and I'm also going to go through web designer proven strategies. Now, these are the strategies that guarantee you success, even if you haven't done this before. So as you can see, this is super packed with a lot of information, and I have a total of 5 modules. Now, take a look at this. In module 1, I'm going to be showing you how to create your brand colors, how to add your brand colors to your website, how to choose your fonts, creating your style guide, and how to master contrast. Okay, I'll be showing you specific examples of how you can achieve this. How to take great photos using your mobile phone or even using a DSLR camera. How to edit and crop your photos like a pro, because chances are when you take a photo, it doesn't just, end like that. You want to make sure you crop it and make sure that it looks super, super nice. Okay, in module 2, I'm going to show you how to import your child theme. And this is where we are going to be customizing our website now, which is going to be your portfolio website, which you're going to showcase every time you want to sell your products to your customers. Okay, so I'll show you how to import the child theme. I'll also show you how to update the portfolio website and make it look like yours. How to choose your own brand colors, how to add your brand colors to your website, and how to also make your website mobile friendly, because as you know, a lot of people nowadays are accessing our websites through mobile phones. Okay, I'm also going to show you how to optimize your website for speed and also SEO optimize your site for local. In module 3, I'm going to show you how to set up your hosting, how to use child themes, how to create your own child themes. Now, this is super powerful because if you can create your own child themes, that means you're just going to make the whole process of designing your website super, super easy. Okay. Next, I'm also going to show you how 5 must-have softwares for freelancers. This is super, super important. How to use Divi Cloud, and this is the process of saving all your layouts and your designs in the cloud, which means you can access them easily. Okay. I'm also going to show you how to master project management and how to do invoicing properly. Now, invoicing is very, very important in freelancing. So knowing how to do it is also super, super important. In module 4, this is where I show you how to make your websites for your clients mobile friendly, how to optimize your websites for speed, where to find inspiration, and mastering copywriting. Now, copywriting is very, very important as well. I'll also show you how to design e-commerce websites, sales funnels websites, membership websites, and also business websites. In module 5, I'm going to show you how to get your customers using Facebook groups, blogging, email templates. I'll also be providing my email templates that I've used in the past, because these templates here also help you make the process of sending emails out to your clients much, much easier. Okay. I will also show you how to optimize your website for speed, SEO for local, and 3 ways to make more money as a freelancer. Now, as a freelancer, when I started off, it was all about just designing the websites, but I also noticed that there's also ways that you can make money through maintaining these clients' websites. And this is super, super important, because that is where you can make extra money. Okay, so like I mentioned, all these things, if you package them, they are way more than 1,247. But I'm doing something special today, and that is I am going to have an early bird discount. Okay, 50% off. Now, the course normally is going to go for $299, but I'm going to be doing an early bird discount of $149, and this is $149, which is 50% off. Okay, so I'm just going to add the link here in the just below the video if you want to access this early bird discount. Now, this course is going to start next week, but before then, we're going to do a few live shows where we're going to do a lot of Q&A, so I can have an idea of some of the challenges that you may have before you can start this course. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, I'm super excited about this because we are making use of our design skills, okay? Because there's no point in learning how to design websites and not really turn it into something that can generate us a bit of money. So it depends where you, how you want to target this. You may want to say target one website per month or two websites per month. But as long as it's giving us a bit of income on the side, this can be a very, very good opportunity, because a lot of you guys have purchased Divi and a lot of softwares that I've recommended to you guys. So this is the time now to put all this together and make it work for us and generate a bit of money for us. And this is what really inspired me to do this course. So if you're a lifetime member, this course is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything extra. It is 100% free. Now, I still have my 50% discount on the lifetime membership. In fact, let me get you the link here. Here it is. This could be actually a much better option, because you can get for $2.99, you'll get access to all my courses. So that means you get access to all my current courses, my future courses, for only $2.99. The link to that is in the video description there. That's the lifetime membership. So that will give you access to pretty much everything, including this course that I'm talking about in this video. All right, so any questions so far? I'm happy to respond to them. So just to recap, while you are typing your questions, in order for you to be successful with web design, you just need to know these three things that I mentioned earlier on. You need to understand your design skills. Once you master your design skills, you are pretty much good to go, because if you design websites without color in mind, without the right fonts, without the right contrast, your websites are going to look very amateurish and they won't look great. If you also design your websites without the right tools, again, it's going to be very, very frustrating for you to make things work for you, because the tools won't be in place. So the tools are super important. And then finally, if you don't know how to promote your website, again, you're pretty much stuck. So all these things work in a triangle, and once you break this triangle, you will not become successful. Now, as I mentioned, when I was running my design agency, it really these three things were quite difficult for me in the beginning, because I only had a bit of each of these. So it was super, super difficult. But once I mastered that these are the things that I need in order for me to run my business, it made things very, very, very easy for me. And it became very fun. Now, I can see here a lot of questions coming here. Alan says, I love your offer. Awesome. Tim says, Divi don't do a very good. I think there's a typo here. Tim, can you type that again? Oh yeah, Tim says here, I was just about to ask if that was covered. I really need help with my sites looking better on the phone. Yes, we're going to be covering quite a lot of that, because nowadays, if your phone is not mobile friendly, pretty much you're in trouble. So definitely we're going to cover that. Any more questions? Eddie says, what about lifetime members? Yes, lifetime members, this course is absolutely free. So if you're a lifetime member, you are going to get access to all my current courses, my future courses. So pretty much you're locked into a lot of goodness. Now, after this course, I also have other courses lined up. Like courses on how to start an online business. That's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. I'm going to also be talking about how I managed to create my online business, how I managed to do my marketing on my YouTube channel. I'll be sharing pretty much everything. Now, that course is going to be my main signature course, which is going to cost quite a lot of money, because it's going to be massive. So as a lifetime member, you're also going to get that access to that absolutely free. OB says, when are you going to do the course creation workshop? Yes, it's in the pipeline. So once I get this course here out of the way, the course creation course creation course is going to be next, and then I'm going to do my online business course. Erwin says the course will be online soon to lifetime members in the dashboard. Yes, absolutely. I will be sending an email out to notify you as soon as it is out. Obi says, where do you store your courses? The courses are on funnelstoincome.com. That's where all the courses are. So you will get access to that, and I'll notify everyone once it is ready. I mean, by next week, I just need a few days just to make sure everything is working okay. Once that's in place, we're good to go. Tim says, Divi don't do that well with allowing to make it. No, Tim, there are ways to make Divi mobile friendly. Like, for example, let's say you want to show part of the website on desktop. You can disable the design on or a section on desktop and make it appear on smartphones only. I mean, you can just do vice versa depending on how you want the layout to be. So it is quite straightforward, but not a lot of tutorials are done on that. Rito says, what do you think about Gutenberg? Gutenberg is still quite difficult to use. It lacks a lot of the tools that we need. So I wouldn't really use Gutenberg, to be honest, due to the fact that if you optimize Divi itself, you can get super fast speeds. I mean, your website can really load fast if you optimize Divi. So it'd just be as fast as Gutenberg. So Gutenberg is still light years away from becoming a very good editor. So I don't really use it at all. But I think with time, it's going to get better. But at the moment, Mark Webster says, would you recommend using System.io as opposed to Divi? Right. Very good question. Now, System.io is mainly for selling products or creating sales funnels, right? But if you really want to design websites like for businesses and so on, System.io's UI is not as advanced as the Divi one. So I would say System.io is mostly for, selling your products or single products or generating leads quickly. But as a design tool, no. It is not really there yet. There's a lot of things that are not in place in order for it to make it a fully blown page builder. Erwin says lifetime from the start of Mac's business. And it's still getting better. Awesome. And Monique, yes, I remember you guys from the beginning. You've supported me right from the beginning, and I really appreciate that. I mean, this is my passion now. I really love creating these courses and sharing what I've achieved throughout many years of trying to make it and trying to earn a living online. So these are the sort of courses and things I'll be sharing with you as we proceed. So I'm super excited and appreciate it because you've helped me a lot. Okay, and just to mention also, the price of this course of $149 is to allow a lot of you to get access to it super fast, because I didn't want to make it too expensive and then not allow a lot of people to get access to this knowledge. So I'm leaving this window open for the next say a week or so, and then I'm going to put the price up. This is an early bird price, okay? It's an early bird price. It won't stay as that. It is going to go up in a few days. Obi says you recommend YouTube a lot. When are you going to teach us YouTube and how to monetize? Okay, if it's something that you guys are interested in, that's something that I can do. I don't mind doing that at all. Like I said, I'm here to share as much knowledge as I have. I mean, all my successes and package them into courses. I'm up for that. So if it's something that you want to learn, definitely I'll make a course about it and show you how I've managed to achieve this myself. So like I said, guys, this is a huge opportunity to turn your web design skills into an actual income. So as I mentioned, this is an early bird offer. So make sure you take advantage of it, because once this is gone, it's pretty much gone. It's going to be $299. At the moment, it's just $149. And like I said, it's going to be super interactive. We're going to have our own Facebook group where we are going to be discussing all our challenges. We're going to be discussing pretty much any troubles that we may have throughout this whole process. So I'm really super excited about this. Like I said, I'm going to start this course in a few days, in about a week's time. So by then we are going to pretty much get as many people as we can into the group, and then we're going to start with some live streams of the course and then move on to the actual content. Okay, it's going to come with a lot of my templates that I've used before. It's going to come with child themes, which are very, very easy to use. For those of you that have used SiteCrafter and Woolcrafter, you know what I'm talking about. It's very, very easy to use. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's about it. Are there any more questions?